Should we talk a little bit about that surface that Aaron Rodgers...
No, we're just talking about all the money these guys make, and then
did his Achilles on?
They have turf fields in the NFL. And for those that want the difference, turf is, we're talking synthetic versus grass, which is real. So, the main reasons for that is, the upkeep. You don't have to try and keep the field going.
Cold weather places.
Yeah, it drains really well. Like it's a lot easier on green stuff and maintenance to be able to play it. But and also, as a comparison, and I'll use the Broncos, they just paid $250K to redo the entire field last week for the remainder of the season, and they will probably redo it if they make it into the playoffs. And although they won't have any home games, so probably not. But you're talking about maybe of $500,000 worth of grass for a season.
To me, that feels like chump change
compared to what you say paying Aaron Rodgers and then throw his Achilles. Having said that,
how crazy is that as well? To put that into perspective, the field costs. If you wanted to redo it,
it's grass, bro. Like
but still,
and you pay a couple guys to look after it. Like in comparison, it's fuckloads less.
Then
and you have billionaires looking after.
Then your franchise quarterback.
Yeah, so
crazy. Hey?
Yeah, so we're talking about Metlife here, which is the New York team's home stadium. Was voted during the week by players that participated in the survey as the worst stadium in the NFL. NFLPA in the past has said that they prefer grass. All fields should be grass. They did do the research into so that graph there shows the percentage of injuries per 100 plays. So in 2021, when they finished this research, it was about the same. So they went with that. It caused about the same amount of injuries. But if you look back in the history and the trend in the previous years, it is slightly higher. So we're looking at 0.033 for grass, or an average of 0.03 something versus 0.04 for synthetic. So yes, you do get more injuries on synthetic. It's probably not significantly more, but then also they talk injuries. So that probably includes broken arms, broken fingers and things like that. I'd be interested to see.
Everything goes under that.
Yeah, I believe that from that research.
So the data for just ACLs, Achilles,
I'd be interested to see
season
that.
enders.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that, whether it's a significantly more on synthetic than grass.
I'd be willing to bet a fair bit of money that it is.
Because the main thing is there's no give in turf. That's the reason.
It's a horror. It's not quite concrete.
It's pretty fucking close.
It's not quite grass. It's somewhere in between.
Yeah, and I've played on a turf field before, and it sucked. I say 100% would prefer grass over a turf field. So, yeah. So
look at the names in the last few years.
So Metlife since 2020, what do you got there? 6 ACLs, 3 Achilles, an MCL tear, and a patella tendon tear as well. All at Metlife in 3 years, in 3 seasons.
And the names: Nick Bosa, Solomon Thomas, Sterling Shepard,
twice.
Jeff, poor fella, he's on the list twice. Jabril Peppers, ACLs. Achilles, Blake Martinez, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Phillips, the one from Black Friday.
Yeah.
Some lesser injuries with Garoppolo doing an ankle and Raheem Mostert, but anecdotally, the evidence is definitely there that this surface is not conducive to the long-term welfare of these players.
Yeah, and the rhetoric, it seems funny that these billionaires don't want to cash out the extra coin to pay for fields when they pay their millionaire players. And take the Jets, for example. Their season's completely ruined because Aaron Rodgers got injured. Maybe the field's not 100% to the cause of that because of the angle and the way he was going down and the mechanism.
It could have happened on grass.
Yeah. The Jalen Phillips one was more pushing off on turf. Like, it looks worse because there's no contact, there's no one around, and he's literally just pushing down. Whether the grass doesn't cause that injury, who knows? But Achilles with calves and the amount of workload these guys go through, does the field fix it? Maybe not. But does it help? Probably a little bit. So why not? Why not spend the chump change for the billionaires to maintain these grass fields? Yeah,
the only other variable that I could think of is weather, and it seems like a lot of these cold weather places and indoor stadiums, where they don't have the capacity to roll the the real turf
Well,
underneath.
okay,
they can't.
That's probably the caveat. So if we're going to use a comparison, go to Europe, go where all the guys playing soccer, all the various pitches, and take Madrid for example, Real Madrid, that is. They've got 3 different pitches that they store essentially under the stadium, and they can stack them. They can rotate and pick which one they want. So they maintain like in a, if they were growing weed, it would be the perfect kind of environment for them.
Real hydroponics.
Yeah, exactly. But they've got it so sorted out for their grass, but they have the perfect kind of pitches, and they've also put all the technology in place to be able to wheel it out so it gets sun, cover it up so it doesn't get too hot or too cold depending on the weather, and then they can pick which pitch they want to play on for that week's games and have backups. They've spent billions of dollars to set it up, but they've put that investment for their long term. So, but you think most of the soccer in Europe is played on grass pitches. Across the board,
nearly at a high level, all of it.
And those guys will have all the varying weather conditions that the Americans will have. So it's definitely doable.
That takes that argument out,
if you want to invest in it. It's a money question. It's 100% just a money question. I think is the way it goes.